listen. Here's what the student loan reform does. It says instead of paying $60 billion over a decade in unnecessary middleman fees to banks, we'll just have a loan reserve in the Department of Education. We'll send UCLA the money. They'll make the loans direct. The loans will be cheaper. And the most important thing is this. I want everyone to, nobody will ever again in the United States ever have to drop out of college because of the debt burden, because you will have a legal right to pay this back as a small fixed percentage of your income, however small it is, for 20 years. Nobody can take that away from you. Now, I did this on an experimental basis when I was president, and then the Bush administration dropped it. Students saved $9 billion, $1,300 for every $10,000 they borrowed. The taxpayers saved $4 because when people can repay their loans, they do. This is revolutionary. Why am I telling you this? Because the Republican leaders have promised to repeal it. They say it's more government. So their position is, we're going to make it more expensive for you to go to college, we're going to make it harder for you to repay your loans, and we're going to increase the debt by $60 billion. Now, if every student on the UCLA campus knew that, the voter turnout would be at least as high as it was 2 years ago. It is not enough to have voted for a new president if you will not help him govern and stick behind the members of Congress who stood for it. Now, okay, so that brings me down to the matter at hand. Most of the education decisions that affect the future of California will be made in Sacramento. In Sacramento, there can't be any stimulus program that involves deficit spending because even though interest rates are zero, and it might be a good thing, states can't print money. What you must do is pick leaders who know how to be both frugal and in the future business. You got to put California back in the future business. I've known Jerry Brown for almost 35 years. When we were governors, we strongly supported the first big push to clean energy. He was the first governor in America to have green building standards, green appliance standards, created 1.5 million jobs 30 years ago. He knew it was good economics when most people thought it was a fool's errand. I watched him turn Oakland around. I watched him as governor when I was dealing with horrible budget problems. Consistently choose the future over the present, but not to take a meat axe to the president. So when he had a budget problem, he said, okay, we're not going to raise pay, and we're going to be, careful before we explode our pension liabilities, but we're not going to fire people and throw them in the street either. We got to take what money we've got and put it into education, put it into new technology, put it into a clean energy future. That's what you need now. His opponent says she wants to cut $5 billion out of your funding. Even if you think it's a good idea to repeal the capital gains tax, why in God's name would you do it now when you can't pay the education costs that you have? Why would you do it? That's choosing the present over the future. And she wants to fire 40,000 public employees. So, Gavin's opponent voted 3 times against the California version of the DREAM Act. When we need more people with college educations, not fewer. So, I'm pleading with you, if you want to protect the future, you want California to educate, you want to be in the green energy business, you want to be in the high technology business, you want this state to come back, all you got to do is look around this crowd tonight and see it's not going to be that hard. We got to get through this very tough spot. And I agree with Jerry. He's the only politician in America I've heard say this, except me, which is that as horrible as this is, if we learn the right lessons from it, when we come out of it, we will be stronger than ever, ready for the 21st century, ready for your future. It is a choice. And these people have very different ideas. His opponent had a chance to vote for the climate change bill. He voted against it. He has already got San Francisco greenhouse gas emissions 7% below where they were in 1990. Already. His opponent was against it before she was for it, and I can't figure out where she is. But you will never have to worry where Jerry Brown is, because he's been there for 35 years. He's been trying to tell us all along, this is our future. We change the way we produce and consume energy. It will explode economic opportunity for California and for America. So if you want the jobs, and you want the education, and you want a sensible budget, both these people are not known as crazy tax increasers. People, you go to talk to anybody in California, in San Francisco, they'll tell you they get what they pay for there. Every kid in public schools now has a savings account set aside that guarantees them the ability to go to college when they graduate from high school. Every single one. Oakland was broke and without economic development. He gave them a budget and an economic future. To set a good example, he cut his own budget in the Attorney General's office, and he invested massive amounts in California's future while holding down present costs when he was governor. This is not rocket science, folks. These are jobs, and the candidates have dramatically different ideas. One will lead you to a brighter future. The other one will lead you to a movie we have seen before. All you got to do is look at the facts. You want 22.7 million jobs or 2.5 million? You want what every successful country has, which is a vibrant private economy and an effective government, and a commitment to investing in its children and its young people and its technology and its potential and its future. Every single solitary successful country in the whole world. This should not be a close election. If this election being held in 6 months, I don't think it'd be close, because I see all these green energy jobs coming back to America. I see all these things happening. But right now, people are angry and they're hurt and they're confused. You don't have an excuse. You're at a university. You're in the business of looking at the facts. You're supposed to be trained to think about hearing conflicting arguments and sort through them to the facts. And if you forget all about that intellectual stuff, just pretend you're a football coach. It's crazy. How can our politics and economics be the only area of our national life where we don't care where the facts are? Look, I've lived my life. It's been great. I just want you to have the same chances I did. I want you to have, I believe with all my heart this country's best days are ahead. And I am so grateful to Jerry Brown that, we're not very far apart in age. We've been doing this a long time. He still cares about your future. And that is important. I'm so grateful that Gavin Newsom agreed to run for this job, because in state after state where you've got a good government, the lieutenant governor is very often the primary driver of the economy. And all you got to look at is what they've done in San Francisco, and you'd be happy to have that from him. So I am pleading with you. You need to go out and tell everybody who is not here tonight that any college student in the state of California that doesn't vote in this election is committing malpractice on your own future for the student loan reform alone. Will you do it? Yeah. Will you elect Jerry Brown? Yeah. Will you elect Gavin Newsom? Yeah. God bless you. Thank you.